Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this online lecture series. This is Neha Pradeep Joshi. Um, from today, I am going to share some brief videos with you in which I'll revise or briefly discuss the central idea of that particular writing. Okay, now your annual exams are near, but we are not having the offline lectures anymore. So, what you can do, you can use these videos to revise the actual text which is there for the annual. Okay, uh, now in annual you have chapter number 2, 3 and 4. Chapter number 2 is on to the summit, which was covered in classroom मध्ये झालेला आहे तो. Then call of the soil, that was also covered before the semester exam, which means it was covered in offline mode, right? But this particular chapter is not taught in a classroom. That's why I'm thinking of giving you this a short video where I'll discuss a summary or the central idea of the text. Okay, so let us see what is there in this chapter. This chapter is titled as Pillars of Democracy. Okay, through the title, it is clear that it is a writing about democracy. Okay, now as I'm speaking from exam perspective, let me give you some ideas about if the question or the extract comes from this chapter, then the central idea will be democracy, right? So even while writing personal response, if you are preparing for personal response, then this central idea democracy should be there in your mind. ओके, तसं जर काही प्रॅक्टिस करत असाल पर्सनल रिस्पॉन्सची, तर यू कॅन एक्सपेक्ट अ क्वेश्चन बेस्ड ऑन एनी ॲस्पेक्ट ऑफ डेमोक्रेसी. ओके, लिहिता येतंय का या विषयावरती डेमोक्रेसी याबद्दल, मे बी यू कॅन प्रॅक्टिस so that if the extract is from this chapter, then you can attempt personal response comfortably well. Okay, now pillars of democracy means what? Here Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar is telling us what we are supposed to do to maintain the democracy. Okay, he is not telling us what democracy means, because we already know that when India accepted democracy at the time of independence, we already knew what democracy means, right? Here, what he is telling us, what are we supposed to do to maintain this? Okay, because it is a novel concept, it was not there in India before. So, what are we supposed to do to have a healthy and long lasting democracy? Then, in the first part, he talks about firstly, we have to recognize all the authorities and pay respect or recognition to them, right? Here he says that where constitutional methods are open, there can be no justification for those unconstitutional methods. Okay, so what he is telling us, that if there is a constitutional framework available, then do whatever you want to do within that framework. Okay, you cannot do something unconstitutional because you think it is right. No, that is not right. In democracy, we have to follow certain rules and regulations to have a healthy democracy. Okay, this is one thing. आणि जर आपण ते नाही केलं, then what will happen? These methods means unconstitutional methods are nothing but a grammar of anarchy. Okay, जर आपण फॉलोच केले नाहीत, सपोज इफ somebody says that I'm not going to follow whatever the high court or supreme court says. No, I'm not going to follow the rules which are set by police. चालेल का? तसं नाही. That will be grammar of anarchy. Means what? अराजकता. Okay, the order will be destroyed. So this is what he warns us, that if there are rules, regulations and framework, you have to follow it. it is a responsibility of you as a citizen. Okay. Then in the second part, he gives us two important quotes. One is by John Stuart Mill, okay, and second is by Daniel O'Connell. Okay. uh, these important points should be very well kept in your mind. Okay. Now, here in the second paragraph, it tells us about the second point, second important idea which we need to focus on while maintaining the democracy. Okay. Now here ज्या दोन कोट्स दिलेले आहेत, they are very suggestive about a particular problem that can arise in a democracy. Okay. uh, yeah, he says here, see that quote, to lay their liberties at the feet of even a great man, or to trust him with powers which enable him to subvert their institution. Okay. Now, what is he talking about here? त्यांचं म्हणणं काय आहे, इन अ डेमोक्रेसी देर इज अ पॉसिबिलिटी दॅट देर इज वन ग्रेट मॅन that you respect a lot. Okay, that person can be anybody. Okay, even a freedom fighter or even elected representative. It is fine if you respect them. Okay, but don't make that person all powerful. Okay, it is not his or her rule, it is your rule. हे तुम्ही लक्षात ठेवलं पाहिजे. दिस इज वॉट ही टेल्स अस अबाउट. Okay, because democracy is what? Government of the people, for the people, and by the people, right? So people should be in the power, not the representatives. This is what he wants us. There is nothing wrong in being grateful to great men who have rendered lifelong services to the country. Means what? Even these people are great and you are grateful, that is okay, but there are some limits. Okay, this caution is far more necessary in case of India than in the case of any other country. For in India, bhakti or hero worship is very important even in politics. ओके, हेच त्यांनी सांगितलंय की इंडियन पॉलिटिक्समध्ये सुद्धा द पॉलिटिक्स रिव्हॉल्व्ड अराउंड अ सिंगल पर्सन. Even in case of a freedom struggle, you have already observed this, right? So it is okay to pay respect, but don't give all powers to a single person. It is your rule. Okay, so follow the person, that is fine, but don't go on worshipping a person. That person can also make mistakes. This is what he warns us about. Okay. uh, Bhakti in religion may be a road to a salvation of the soul, but in politics, bhakti or hero worship is sure road to degradation and eventual dictatorship. एकाच माणसाच्या हाती जर सगळी सत्ता कंट्रोल राहत असेल तर डेफिनेटली ती डेमोक्रेसी ठरणार नाही. दॅट विल बी ॲज वी कॉल इट डिक्टेटरशिप और हुकुमशाही. एकाच माणसाचा रूल चाललाय तर ती डेमोक्रेसी असेल का नाही? दॅट विल बी अ डिक्टेटरशिप. This is what he warns us about. This is a caution. Okay. And now then he goes on telling us another problem which is there in case of India, that there are many things that we still need to remove. There is one problem of inequality in India. So therefore he says, if we want to have a healthy democracy, then there should be a spirit of fraternity, common brotherhood. It should be there. If the inequality is there, then it will put our political democracy in peril. Inequality असेल, people are not that much connected, or if there is no connection, equal connection between the people, among the people, then definitely that is harmful for the democracy. Okay. Then here he in the next paragraph he talks about the principle of fraternity, common brotherhood. ओके. ॲज आय थिंक मी जेव्हा हा चॅप्टर कवर केला तेव्हाही या गोष्टीबद्दल बोलले होते. कॉमन ब्रदरहूड इज वॉट? It is okay if you are if you are a citizen living in a particular city or a state. हां, आपल्याला प्राऊड फिलिंग असते मे बी आपल्या स्टेटबद्दल, आपल्या सिटीबद्दल, दॅट इज क्वाईट फाईन. बट वी आर अ पार्ट ऑफ अ बिग नेशन, सो वी आर कनेक्टेड टू मेनी पीपल बाय दॅट आयडेंटिटी. हे लक्षात ठेवलं पाहिजे, राईट? इफ समथिंग हॅपन्स इन काश्मीर, then that should affect me in a same way. Or if something happens in Tamil Nadu, I cannot say that Tamil Nadu madhe na, then why should I bother? It is not the case, right? This sense of common brotherhood has to be there if we want to maintain a democracy in India, right? Because each state has a different culture, different identity, but we are uh, living here as a team. हां, मी तेव्हाही तुम्हाला ही एनॉलॉजी सांगितली होती की थिंक ऑफ इट ॲज अ बिग हाऊस वेअर देर आर मेनी रूम्स. सो इफ देर इज अ फायर इन वन प्लेस, तर तुम्ही असं नाही म्हणू शकत की त्या रूममध्ये आग लागली मग मी का जाऊ. दिस इज नॉट द केस. इफ देर इज अ फायर इन वन प्लेस, देन डेफिनेटली दॅट दोज फ्लेम्स विल रीच यू सून इनफ, right? Therefore, a common brotherhood, a sense of fraternity has to be there. All right. And then he gives us one example of uh, a story related by James Bryce in his volume of on American Commonwealth about USA. आणि त्या स्टोरीमध्ये सांगितलं आहे की दे वॉन्टेड टू ॲड वन वर्ड इन देअर प्रेयर. या दे वॉन्टेड टू ॲड द वर्ड नेशन. हां, त्यांच्या ज्या प्रेयर आहेत त्यामध्ये त्यांना नेशन हा वर्ड ॲड करायचा होता, बट पीपल ॲक्च्युली प्रोटेस्टेड अगेन्स्ट इट. दे डिड नॉट लाईक द आयडिया, राईट? कॉमन ब्रदरहूडची फिलिंग किती इम्पॉर्टंट आहे, ही वॉन्ट्स टू एक्सप्लेन दॅट्स वाय ही हॅज गिवन दिस एक्झाम्पल. ओके, इट इज नॉट अन easily accepted idea. Okay, we have to condition our minds, or we have to train our minds in that way. Okay. Yes. And he goes on then talking about what happened in India, right? They prefer the expression the Indian nation, right? See, I remember the days when politically minded Indians resented the expression the people of India. They preferred the expression the Indian nation. Okay. And then in the final part, he talks about the real problem that we are facing. ते काय सांगतायत की why we are not people of India? Because there is no equality, right? There are many languages, then there are many castes, or there is a division in case of religion, right? Religious differences are there, caste differences are there, language differences are there, cultural differences are there. Then how are we going to deal with all these problems? When we say that we are a part of a nation where there is no homogeneity in any case, then how are we going to stay connected to each other, right? आता आपलं कल्चर इन महाराष्ट्र, द कल्चर विच इज देअर, इट इज नॉट देअर इन काश्मीर. देन हाऊ एम आय गोइंग टू कनेक्ट विथ दोज पीपल, right? Or even in Maharashtra, do all people are same? Do you think that all people are same? No, there are many kind of differences. Then how are we going to deal with them? How we are going to develop the feeling of fraternity, common brotherhood? This is what he warns us about. की इंडिपेंडन्स नंतर कशावरती काम केलं पाहिजे, तर ह्या फिलिंगवरती, और टू शेप आर आयडेंटिटी इन अ दॅट वे. Okay. See, here he says the United States has no caste problem. In India there are castes. The castes are anti-national because see, they divide people, right, in different groups. Therefore he says that they are anti-national. Means what? In a nation there should be only one group. If there are different groups divided, or people are divided in different groups because of castes, then definitely that goes against national integrity, right? They are anti-national also because they generate jealousy and antipathy between caste and creed, right? But we must overcome all these difficulties if we wish to become a nation in reality. So ते काय सांगतात, caste is one of many of your identities, that should not be your supreme identity, right? You should be you should be a part of a society as an individual. Caste is there, but that should not be that much prominent, or you should not be giving that much importance to it. You should be able to connect with people as an individual. This is what he expects from people of India. For fraternity can be a fact only when there is a nation. Without fraternity, equality and liberty will be no deeper than coats of paint. Okay, if there is no sense of brotherhood between people or among the people, then all those high ideas like equality and liberty, they have no meaning, right? um, See, the idea is, आता ते आपल्या प्रिएम्बलमध्ये, इफ यू गो थ्रू द प्रिएम्बल, देन इट इज देअर. तुम्हाला या कॉन्सेप्टबद्दल अजून काही माहिती हवी असेल, इक्वालिटी अँड लिबर्टी, देन इट इज देअर. काय आहे की तुम्ही तुमचे राईट्स जे आहेत, फ्रीडम ऑफ एक्सप्रेशन अँड सो, दॅट ऑल कॅन बी एन्जॉयड ओनली वेन यू आर इक्वल्स. जर तुमच्यामध्ये सुद्धा हायर लोअर हा डिफरन्स राहणार असेल तर लिबर्टीला काही अर्थच नाही. दिस इज वॉट ही टेल्स. सो वी शुड ऑल बी on equal level, only then the liberty and equality or fraternity, all these concepts will work in reality. Okay, go through that chapter once again, and if you complete the brainstorming exercises, then that is enough from exam perspective. Okay, question answer attempt करता येतात का बघा. If there is any problem, if you think that this question is not that much easy to attempt, then tell me, I can give you the answer for that. Okay, I hope that this is somehow helpful to you. Go through it and let me know if there is any problem or if you need an explanation of any other point. Okay, thank you for your attention. We'll meet in the next lecture.